All right, we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Josh Peak, OKUSA Wrestling membership director, and I've got the chairman, Zach Randall, with us. Hey, Zach, how you doing today?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Well, let's just go ahead and get started here. Let's talk our first bullet point about the Olympic style wrestling season, how it ended up, Fargo, the duels, the regionals, that type of thing. How did you see the season ended up, and what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought the season ended great. Oklahoma, we're very competitive in our wrestling, and we always have really strong showings. And so I know there's always room for improvement on that. We've had years where we've won, junior duels in Fargo back to back to back, and still, there were areas for improvement that I know our coaches and stuff, came together. I think overall it went really good. I think we've come together a lot as a state. I really saw some great improvement in that. Our numbers really show that. At every age division and gender division, we had more participants than the last season. So we had 2 full teams for every division on our boys' side, and we had 2 full teams for our women's side for the duels. All those finished up great shape, All-American status. They looked really good. Kind of the highlight of the duels was both of our junior teams were in the finals for Greco and freestyle, which I think is just fabulous.
Yeah.
And so we have had really strong teams. I was super proud of all our coaches and all the efforts they gave. Our coaches did an incredible job this summer. Our athletes on all the teams worked really hard. And I really loved the thing I saw this summer. It was great, is the togetherness of everybody. I really thought the folks that were involved, the coaches and athletes and parents, were all working together. And then also too, like Fargo was super great. Biggest Fargo we've ever had. We had over 200 kids on our team. That's the largest Fargo delegation we've ever taken. Really great as far as like numbers of kids participating. The athletes at that event gave their heart and they wrestled so hard. Probably the highlight for the junior duel highlight, for both being in the finals for me was a highlight for junior, for the duels. Probably for Fargo was that we had the largest number of Fargo placers in cadet Greco than I think we've ever had, which is pretty awesome. That's, I love Greco wrestling. I know a lot of our kids do. It's a good part of our system of development, and I think it will help contribute to us winning, freestyle championships and folk style championships in the future. So, just overall really great, a lot of numbers, really high numbers, double the participation, cut costs in half. Everything was half as much as it was the year before. Super buy-in from the kids and parents and coaches. And so, overall, did we bring home, the hardware and the placement we wanted? No. There's always room for improvement in that for Oklahoma. But overall, really a successful summer. And I was super excited about that. I think it was really great. We learned a lot. We did a lot, and we'll get better for next year.
Yeah, speaking of that, the numbers were massive at Fargo this year. Not just Oklahoma, but the participation was huge. Do you think that probably was because of COVID, or they didn't get to go the year before? Or?
Yeah, they changed the rules a little bit, for the Fargo and increasing the numbers. I just got back from the chairman's convention in Colorado Springs with USA Wrestling, and we made some decisions there, leadership, to support increasing the numbers at Fargo. So we'll have increased spots and availability for Fargo and participation for Fargo in the future, which I think is great. We want to grow wrestling, and we want to get as many kids the opportunity to develop and go to that national tournament as possible. So I, along with the other state chairs in the country, made steps to making sure that happened. So we'll have good spots available for kids next year, and continue to, bring that number of kids to Fargo every year for that experience.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this new season coming up, which is folk style. What does that look like? In terms of, what's it? How are you feeling about the upcoming season?
Great. I'm super excited. We have. I think the key to our youth league is our volunteers, and our youth board. They have over the years done such an amazing job of supporting, wrestling and developing the youth. I can't say enough. Last year we had Sean Bateman did a great job. we've had other great leaders before that. This year we have Courtney Slover, who her and her family are just amazing volunteers for our organization. I can tell you, Courtney volunteers year round. I mean, she was there all summer helping us. She was the duels helping us. Her family is just one of those volunteers where she volunteers her time for wrestling, not just with USA Wrestling, but her home club too. She's always there. And I think that's the cool thing is we have so many great youth volunteers that help those seasons. And I'm really looking forward to our youth season. I think it's going to be awesome. We're geared up to take full boys team to Virginia duels. We have the women's director and the cadet and junior directors that we appointed, setting up a team for our first elementary youth duels team. And so they're looking at which event is going to be the best for our girls, our elementary girls to go to. And they're tossing around some ideas with that. So I'm really excited that we're going to be able to take that team this folk style season. A really exciting thing is we just, kind of got the agreement signed with Texas, and we're going to have our first Red River rival duel where we're going to take juniors and seniors from Oklahoma, the all-star team that we pick, and then juniors and seniors from Texas. And we're going to have a duel down in Dallas in November. This is just part of us continuing to develop, opportunities for our athletes. Our board is doing a great job of developing these opportunities and getting juniors and seniors to be able to compete in an all-star duel like this really helps create some exposure for them for college wrestling. We'll be taking a full men and women's team to that event. So I'm really looking forward to that too. So, overall folk style is just set up and ready to go. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a great season, I'm sure.
We have a question here. The Red River duels, is that boys and girls or just boys? I think it's boys and girls, right?
Yeah, it's boys and girls. Of course, it's a junior level event, so I've charged the junior level directors. I'm working with them to coordinate coaches and teams. And so, our women's director will be coordinating the team that goes for the women. And then our junior director, Coach Ruth, will be coordinating the team with the help of myself and other coaches. And like I said, we're all about creating opportunities for all of our athletes, and I hope they're ready to go wrestle hard. I know Texas is going to come and really bring it, and they have some really strong wrestlers. And so, we're reaching out to athletes now. I hope we have a good showing, and we can really help that be a great event as well.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we have a Youth Wrestling League meeting coming up. I just looked it's on our Facebook page, what you're seeing right here. This is being streamed live across YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So if you're seeing this on Twitter and YouTube, go over to our Facebook page. That is September 19th. There in Oklahoma City. You want to talk a little bit about that, or?
Yeah, my thing really is, and about youth, and I always speak about this, and people probably get tired of hearing it, but, we're a complete volunteer organization, meaning nobody is an employee or contracted person. So everybody in our organization is volunteering their time. I would just say, one thing that's important to remember with our youth league is to be kind to those volunteers. All the people on our youth board and Courtney, our youth league director and chairman, she's working really hard, and they're all working really hard to do the best they can. I know sometimes new parents to our, organization or to wrestling, may not understand some of the ins and outs of it, and they do a great job of trying to explain that. But again, just be kind. I think everybody's trying their best to volunteer and to help. Nobody is purposely trying to, hurt or cause any problems for any families. And so be kind. I think that's the biggest thing I would say about the youth league season, and not only to the volunteers, but also the coaches. They're giving up so much time to help your athletes. If you get into wrestling, it's not about the money, it's about the love. And so, be kind to your coaches that are supporting your athletes, and even your officials. I know, I'm definitely one that will yell from the side, constructive comments sometimes to my athletes, but being kind to the officials is important. We have to continue to develop officials. So I guess my big message for the youth season and the folk style season is just be kind and respectful and appreciative of all the volunteers. We have amazing volunteers. in our organization. It just amazes me how much time they give away from their families. You know, I know you and I and all the volunteers I spent probably 2 months away from my family and job this summer, which is really hard to do, but I do it for the love of USA Wrestling and our athletes and our support. So, you know, if there's something wrong, definitely come talk to one of the board members or coaches or directors about that, but also please remember they're volunteering and be kind. And, you know, I know sometimes they say, well, they're paying the officials, but I mean, they're not getting a lot. Yeah, they're getting paid a little bit for their time. So being kind to those officials. And if they're new, let's help educate them and help create more, you know, a working relationship between the coaches and the officials, I think is important.
Yeah. Colby Robinson said something here. The Red River is boys and girls, and it is college weights. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the things that, we decided when talking to the Texas folks is that it would be really important to try to, you know, profile kids in what weight they could possibly be in college. And so that's why we decided to go with college weights. I think it's a good thing to kind of do that. Yeah.
The last thing we want to talk about is the business relationships and partnerships we're starting to get, which I think is really important. Do you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think relationships are the most important thing you can develop in any organization. And I got a great example of one that I'd like to share that happened this summer. I was up at Fargo and we were getting equipment and sorting out equipment. And so it was me and one of the Fargo directors and coaches, and we were sitting in there, and a couple of Oklahoma folks came by, Christina Young and Austin Bernard, who you probably know Austin. He's a photographer, does a lot of great photographing for us. And so hold on, let me check this real quick. My lights are coming on, so they're auto turned on, so I'm trying to turn some of those off. Sorry. There you go. That's better.
There you go.
And so, you know, Austin and Christina were walking by, and I don't know if you know these two folks, but they're such great volunteers and people. And they saw me and this coach working to, you know, get this equipment sorted for our Fargo teams. And do you know that Christina and Austin came in there and they helped us sort equipment for like 7 hours straight. And so to me, I thought that was such an awesome thing that they would contribute, you know, their time. And so here, and Christina, if you know Christina or Austin, you know, they've contributed tons of time to USA Wrestling. But, you know, I just was so touched by that. I mean, that's the kind of volunteers we have. You know, and I started thinking about it on the swing side. You know, Austin takes pictures for our teams. And I'll tell you, I don't know how much, you know, some of the folks watching know about wrestling. But in my opinion, Austin Bernard's maybe the best wrestling photographer in the history of wrestling. He catches stuff that is just amazing.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he does it. He's so good at it. But, you know, he has a business, you know, that he runs, you know, on the side of photography business, right? So here's Austin Bernard spending hours helping us in our organization, folding equipment even, you know? And so my encouragement would be to, you know, I can tell you this, if I need a photo for sports, I'm going to Austin.
Yep.
And I mean, besides him just being the best, you know, he's also, you know, a person that contributes time. You know, Christina, I knew she was doing real estate for a long time. If I lived in Tulsa and I needed help with real estate, I would contact Christina. I know she would help me. And so I think these relationships that we have in our wrestling community are so vital. And I always try to utilize them to help, you know, the folks that contribute to us. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, kind of in the spirit of that, that's what we've started to develop. We brought on our first corporate sponsor this summer, the Mercy Health Network. We have several physicians that help us in the summertime and help us do stuff, and they're great volunteers. And so, I mean, when you can partner up with a corporate sponsor like Mercy, I think that really says a lot about our organization. Mercy has such high standards for care for their patients. They have such high, you know, such a highly valued view in the public eye about how well they provide and help people and their missions. And so I think getting to partner with companies like that is so vital. So you'll see that Mercy, you know, sponsor on our website, and you'll start to see more sponsors on our website. And what I think we're really saying with that is like, hey, these folks are sponsoring us, so sponsor them.
Yeah.
And if you know folks even locally that are wrestling coaches or officials or people walking around helping wrestling, try to support them in their business. I think that's super vital.
Yeah, it is. I think it's pretty cool, creating an economy within our own wrestling community. I think it's great. So those are the things we wanted to talk about, today on these updates. We're going to be doing more and more of them. And like Zach said, we do have that Youth Wrestling League meeting on September 19th. That is on this Facebook page. You'll see that. And so make sure you share this video with people. We probably should have put up that we were going to have this beforehand. But anyways, you can share this with your friends and your wrestling coaches, parents, whatever. That's all I really have, Zach, unless you have something else.
No, just good luck to all the wrestlers and their families this season. I'm praying for their safety and their good experience. I can't wait to see them all again soon. And look for those corporate sponsors that pop up on our website and support those organizations and those folks that support us. And the last thing I'd say is be kind and be part of the solution. Yep. I think, it's easy to present the problems, but together, if we're all working towards the solutions, we can accomplish more to help development for wrestling in our state. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.